and just take the video feed. All right, yeah, we'll just use the phone line for now until that video starts working, okay? Thanks, man. Andy and Rustin live on News Radio 890, 94.9 KDXU. Radio Gold we had the last 5 minutes. Problem is, nobody can hear us. With the video feed not working yet and our audio feed disconnected, we apologize. We are live again here from KDXU, or from Dixie High School on KDXU. Our title sponsor is Sullivan Homes. You only build your dream home one time. Make sure you get it just right. Visit sullivanhomes.com today to find out how to do that. Pregame brought to you by Interior Design Center. Like them on Instagram to see some of the stylish looks, or visit interiordesigncenter.com. And our keys to the game brought to you by Camping World in St. George. Your 2021 adventure starts at Camping World in St. George. Rustin, real quick, keys to this one, Dixie, Desert Hills.
All right, let's start with the visiting Thunder, undefeated this season, undefeated in region play. It goes unsaid, but here's the first key to the game. Quick hands, all right? Here, Snow Canyon had 9 steals, and Dixie's turnovers exceeded that number 9. The Thunder defense suffocated Hurricane Wednesday night with rebounds and swats, but they had a lot of steals. Justin Judkins had 2 steals that led to points. Mason Landick had 2 steals that led to points. Those quick hands need to be on full display, getting in passing lanes, moving the feet, whatever it is. I think this guard lineup of Landick and Judkins, who has fast hands, can have a good night, especially where Dixie was a little sloppy with the ball Wednesday. Next to that, balance. Desert Hills shared the wealth with 9 players scoring, 6 with 7 or more. Outside of scoring, they all assisted. They all had offensive rebounds. There were steals. A new player seemed to shine almost every time down the floor. Desert Hills is the deepest team in Region 9 as far as actual depth goes. Now, next to that, I think there's always going to be a favorable matchup for this Thunder squad. If they share the wealth, move the ball around, they'll always find one matchup they like more so than others. For the home team, Dixie Flyers, your Camping World keys to the game here, clean the glass. We know that Dixie's one of the best rebounding teams in Region 9, averaging right around 30 a game, AG. But nobody really has the size that Desert Hills has. And, in fact, this is going to be a unique challenge. Keegan Munson, Preston Vandermeij, guys who can crash the boards with the best of them. They're going to be lurking. In fact, we saw against Hurricane that Mason Landick was the only guy going back down the floor anytime a shot was up. Everyone else was crashing. I expect to see a similar setup here against Dixie tonight, which means the Flyers need to turn around, get a body in them. Those basic fundamentals could pay big, big dividends. And last, you need to embrace vulnerability. And what I mean by that, it's not easy if you're the defending region champs, you're playing your best basketball, your only losses have come to Wasatch Academy and Lone Peak, and then all of a sudden you drop an unexpected one to Snow Canyon. That can be a good thing. Use that in your favor. We know sometimes a loss is the best thing that can happen to a squad. Use that feeling of redemption. Use that feeling of getting back on track to dig deep and ultimately make more adjustments.
That's your keys to the game, brought to you by Camping World in St. George. Your 2021 adventure starts at Camping World. Find a huge selection of all the top brands, sales, parts, service, and a full retail store at Camping World in St. George, 1500 Hilton Drive, or go to campingworldstgeorge.com. Real quick, let's go our MVP sports clip, Star Watch.
Yeah.
Get an MVP haircut, hot steam towel, and massaging shampoo. Be sure to stop in for the MVP treatment at Sports Clip. Hey, it's good to be a guy. Who's our star watch tonight, Rustin?
Well, of course, for the visiting Thunder, we already talked a little bit about Keegan Munson, but I want to go with a guy like Reggie Newby. The reason being he's coming off only a 4-point performance just the other night against Hurricane. And, of course, they didn't need Reggie Newby to score the basketball a lot. That was the reality. That's why he ended with 4 points. Tonight, that's not going to be the case. This kid's averaging right around 10 a game. He's got 28 threes on the year, only behind Mason Landick. Newby is my star watch on the side for the Thunder. For the home team Flyers, I think you really need to look at a guy like Jeffrey Cox. Only 4 points in that loss the other night. They need more from him, and he's going to be my star watch for the Dixie Flyers.
That's our MVP star watch. We have our national anthem coming up here at Dixie High School. We'll also make a couple of switches in equipment. We will return after our national anthem and this 2-minute timeout on KDXU.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Beyond the park you know, exists a world you don't. A world that is greater. Greater than just one passion. Greater than just one adventure. Greater than just one moment. Come to where life is greater. Come to Greater Zion.
We're back at Dixie High School, home of the Flyers, as we get ready for a marquee matchup here on KDXU. Undefeated Desert Hills against the 10-3 Dixie Flyers, the defending state champions. Great memorable moment if you're into sports. Dixie beating Skyview, really big underdogs in the game, and they went out there and beat a really good Skyview team to win the championship last year. Mason Falslev was an odds-on favorite to be the superstar and lead them the Bobcats to the state championship, and Dixie went in there and got it done behind Noah Lemke and the guys that are out there still tonight, Ethan Bennett and Isaac Finlinson, along with some other stars. And it was an upset around the state, I think, in a lot of people's minds. Those of us that follow Region 9, I didn't feel like it was an upset last year, Rustin.
It really wasn't, and ultimately the thing with that Dixie win, they were so talented. Finlinson to Lemke, they had those pieces all the way around, defensive, offensive, they got it done. And this is one of the more motivational tactics in Region 9 that we see, playing highlights from that clip, getting this team pumped. It works for the home team Flyers, and ultimately here's the thing, it works for the visitor too. Don't think that those Desert Hills players aren't checking out the screen at this moment, trying to get hyped themselves. Everybody wants to be the one who beats the guy. Snow Canyon's done it. Dixie's hungry. They're coming back out. And ultimately, I think we're going to see a more motivated, a more composed Dixie squad than we've seen all year. And then you have the undefeated Desert Hills Thunder. I really don't think you can ask for a better environment in Region 9 than what we're seeing here tonight.
Big-time introduction. They got the Jets soaring over, not literally, but by the speaker system. And actually, this might be the biggest crowd I've seen at any game this year, Russ, and I'm not sure how they work the rules. Everybody's masked up still, but there's got to be 500 folks here, huh?
There's a good chunk. I mean, the gym's still far from full, but the reality is, in a pandemic, this is a good crowd. And however the ticket system works, I mean, I'm sure guys found ways to get into this game tonight. If you're a Region 9 fan, this is a can't miss, and we're thankful to be able to bring it to you on KDXU, on CEC TV, on sportsradio977.com. If you're not able to make it here tonight, you can still feel the atmosphere right through the screen as Dixie announces their starting lineups.
All right, let's go with the visitors first from Desert Hills. Starting lineups brought to you by Sky Mountain Golf Course. Hit it to the sky at the beautiful Sky Mountain Golf Course in St. George. I noticed Peyton Holmes getting his first start since he missed some time. Where's number 2? Holmes is a senior. In fact, a senior-heavy lineup for the Thunder. Number 4, actually wearing 0 tonight, Mason Landick. You've also got 42, Keegan Munson. Let's see, Justin Judkins, where's number 34? And the 4th starter, is it Vandermeide out there?
No, well, you got Judkins, you got Munson, you got Newby, you got Landick,
Reggie
and you got
Newby,
Holmes.
there you go. And on the other side for Dixie, Carson Forsey along with Isaac Finlinson, Ethan Bennett, Alicio DeHart, and Jeff Cox. Jump is up, and Dixie wins a jump. Immediately scores right off the bat on a nice pass from DeHart to Forsey, and it's 2-0.
Not only do you get the early jump right off the tip, but you get a guy like Carson Forsey involved immediately, coming off a 1-point performance against Snow Canyon. He's already doubled that here tonight.
2-0 Dixie, just a few seconds into this basketball game. Landick skips it over to Newby as Desert Hills works the offense. Judkins has it on the angle side and goes top of the key to Landick. Landick with the little and one crossover dribble, then a jumper by Munson on the baseline. That's no good. Finlinson on the glass.
Yeah, DeHart poses one of those more hype matchups against Munson. He's not super accustomed to that.
Finlinson tries a long 3. He was 0 for, actually it was Forsey on the 3. Everybody was 0 from deep for Dixie on Wednesday night, and right now 0 for 1 in this game. Desert Hills back on the offense. They go baseline to Judkins. That matchup zone Dixie is known for. Long 3, Landick, boom, way outside. Mason Landick for 3.
Right from the volleyball line. We've seen him do that a lot right there. Pulls up with confidence.
Inside, shot blocked out of there. Munson and company on the defense. Skip pass into the corner. Newby over to Judkins. Judkins, spin move in the lane. DeHart challenges, gets a piece of it, and then gets the rebound on the tip away. Nearly stolen away by Landick, but knocked out of bounds. Play-by-play brought to you by Luke Udy. Shopping for insurance isn't as fun as watching your favorite team win until you save a ton of money on home, auto, or life. Call Luke Udy today at 251-9102.
Yeah, and we saw Landick with the tip right there out of bounds. He has such quick hands. Had 2 steals that led to 4 points against Hurricane on Wednesday.
Yeah,
He's
back-to-backers, huh?
Back-to-backers. He'll just kind of sneak up when you least expect it, get in there and steal the basketball.
Dixie on the offense, man-to-man defense. A little runner by Bennett. Teardrop up and good, and Dixie leads it by a count of 4-0.
And Bennett's scoring presence cannot be denied this year. We always talk about Finlinson, but Ethan Bennett is one of those guys who averages in the high point range, and he's coming off specifically a 12-point performance against Snow Canyon. We've seen him with 26-point games, with 24-point games, his first bucket of the night.
I said 4-0. Of course, it's 4-3. I forgot about Landick's three-pointer. Landick has it now and has it tipped away. One-on-one, Bennett on the run, chased by Peyton Holmes, but he can't get there in time. The lefty layup is up and good.
Great awareness. Landick's known for being the ones with the quick hands. Right there, Bennett getting the steal. He's not just a scorer. He has the ability to get in and pick that ball loose.
Peyton Holmes making his first start in a couple of weeks. Throws the ball away. He drove in the lane. Landick actually had cut toward the middle. He threw it to where he was instead of where he is, and that's a turnover.
We expected a different presence here tonight in the hangar from this Dixie squad. We knew they were going to come out poised. We knew they were going to come out with their heads held high. That's exactly what you do after a tough loss.
Cox spinner in the lane. The lefty can't get the shot to the go. Big time rebound by Munson. Brings it down. Desert Hills on the run. Holmes stopped back outside. Gives it to Mason Landick. And back to Peyton Holmes. We'll see plenty of Vandermeide today. Don't get me wrong here. Nice no-look pass. Well, I say nice, but Isaac Finlinson read it. Now fast break. Forsey to Cox. Up and under move. It's good, and it's 8-3. And let me remind folks as we go to timeout, Dixie had 11 points in the entire first half against Snow Canyon. We played less than 4 minutes. They have 8 points already and a timeout on the floor. We'll take the break. 4:49 to go in the first. On our one-loss scoreboard, Dixie with a quick start, 8-3 over Desert Hills.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Welcome back. It's Dixie Desert Hills here. Marquee matchup in Region 9 with first place on the line. As Desert Hills down early. Reggie Newby turnaround three is up, no good. Finlayson with his second big rebound. And the Flyers with the 5-point lead and the basketball.
I'll tell you what, so far this Dixie defense doing a great job. If the Thunder have got off a shot, that hasn't been a turnover. It's been a contested three. Landick hit one. Newby unable to hit that one.
Hard drive by Bennett. He's cut off by Munson, has to go back outside. Nearly lost it, but saved by Carson Forsey with his bright green shoes. There used to be actually a shoe and sock rule in high school basketball. That is no longer in place. You can wear whatever color sock or shoe you want. Inside shot up. Beautiful facilitation by Finlayson to Cox for two.
I don't think Keegan Munson's used to guys going up and attempting that shot. We saw Hurricane stray away from it multiple times. Cox goes right into the body.
Three at the other end is a little too hard by Newby out of the baseline tray. And a rebound to the Flyers, up 10-3. Bennett in the lane. Turnaround hook shot, in and out, no good. Rebound to the floor, DeHart has it, and he hooks it over Munson for two. It's 12-3.
Big move from DeHart, not only getting the offensive rebound, Dixie averaging 30 a game, but also with the touch to finish it.
Inside, beautiful pass and a reverse layup by Munson on the dish by Landick.
And that's exactly what you want to see. The Thunder have been settling for a lot of contested long-range shots, particularly beyond the arc. That time they find a way to get it inside to Munson. Beautiful pass, beautiful finish from the big.
And again, let me say it one more time, then I'll leave it alone. Dixie had 11 points at halftime yesterday or Wednesday. They've got 12 in 5 minutes here tonight. Bennett on the offense. Judkins guarding him one-on-one spin move. No shot for Bennett as Munson helps out. Long three, up and no good by Finlayson, and an easy over-the-back foul called on Alicio DeHart.
And DeHart is that presence. He's been that presence. All eyes are going to be on him tonight. Not only does he have Munson now, but when someone like Preston Vandermeer checks in, we get a good look here, courtesy of CEC TV. It was an over-the-back call.
Yeah, pretty easy one there. Even a dummy like me could have called that one. Reggie Newby will check out. Vandermeer comes into the game for the first time. He was a starter while Holmes was out, and he's a good player off the bench. Judkins has it, looking to attack that 2-3 matchup zone. Now to Vandermeer. They're on the right side looking for help. Vandermeer has to skip it across. Gets it to Peyton Holmes. The Dixie bench and JV team clapping. They get it inside to Vandermeer. Vandermeer in the lane, up and under move. Wow, nice looking shot in front of Cox.
We've seen his average go up and up and up. He was at 7 points, 8 points, 9 points. Preston Vandermeer now averaging right around 11. He did not settle for the mid-range jumper, put the ball on the floor, and got inside with the pretty finish.
Finlayson started to travel, threw the ball out of there, and he threw it away, but Desert Hills runs it down and loses it out of bounds. It would have been a backcourt had Cox touched it.
Yeah, so Cox eased up on it. And that gave Vandermeer a moment to sneak in, grab it. He tried to go for the lane and lost the basketball out of bounds. So, in a way, it works out for the Flyers.
In a very weird way, it worked out for the Flyers.
In a very weird way.
Dixie up 12-7, but it's been 4 straight now for the Thunder. Dixie on the offense. DeHart gets it over to Forsey, fakes the three, looks inside. Wanted Finlayson or Cox. Neither one was open. It is right now Landick guarding Finlayson, and a foul called on Landick.
Yeah.
He got kind of swiped away a little bit by, let's watch a replay on this. Yeah, that's tough call on the defender on that one.
It's interesting because Landick tried to sell that in a way where he couldn't quite front Finlayson, so he tried to make it seem like it might be a foul. Referee wasn't having it. But there he plays good defense and forces the turnover, travel on Finlayson.
Yeah, and Finlayson could have got called for an offensive foul there as he threw an elbow on the move. Referee said, well, I don't forget the elbow. His feet were moving too. So that's a turnover. Newby checks back in. Peyton Holmes checks out of the game. This big marquee matchup. Under 2 minutes to go, first quarter, 12-7. Dixie had that early 9-point lead. Right now it is 5. Landeck gets in the forecourt. Skip the pass across Judkins. Now baseline. Vandermeide, 3 out of the corner. That is good. Team D auto 3 for Preston.
Big hit from Vandermeide. That is going to be his 6th triple on the year for the Thunder.
And it's 12-10, and another Dixie turnover as Cox and Bennett miscommunicate and throw it away. And Coach Roberts says, I'm going to call my guys over. Let's have a little chat. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. We want to again thank the Scott Gibson team at Intercap Lending. They don't match their rates or fees. See how much the Scott Gibson team can save you today. Call or text 435-619-8080 as we see another great replay from CEC.
Yeah, it was Vandermeide's 3 in the corner, and it's been so fun to really watch him play. He got the start with Peyton Holmes coming off that absence. He started their last 2 games, and he's been absolutely explosive when he wants to be. But the thing that makes him unique is that he's not always looking to score the basketball. He'll shoot when the look is there, but he contributes in so many ways. Offensive rebounds, quick steals, being big inside, whatever it may be. He's been a presence in that regard, and it's been pretty neat to see.
Just looking at Dixie's scores, their high score this season, I believe they scored 88 against Green Canyon. But generally speaking, Dixie scores about 70. They had, 40? Something like that the other night against Snow Canyon.
40 on the dot, 55-40 was your final.
Right now they lead at 12-10 with a minute to go now in the quarter. Newby loads up a 3, a long 3. It's too short rather, and knocked out of bounds. And Mason Landick says that was off of Dixie, but nobody's buying what he's selling.
Yeah, and it's been tough as of late for the Thunder as we get this shot right here going off the front iron.
Oh, and he's probably right. I think D. Hart knocked it out, but not going to get a redo on that one.
And so far, the Thunder have been great when they've gone inside. I feel like Desert Hills is settling for a lot of shots, but these are shots they normally hit.
Bennett gets it back outside. Bronson Barbin in the game. He had it now to Finlayson for 3. In and out, no good. But still can't find it from deep. Dixie has not hit a 3 in this game. Didn't have one the other night. Landeck stop and pop 3! And the Thunder have the lead. It's a 10-0 run.
Landeck fist clenched, coming back down the floor, hopping and bobbing his head. Big shot. He got right into a rhythm there.
That's a Team D auto 3, 13-12 with 20 seconds to go as Dixie will work for a last shot. Cox has it, skips it over to Bennett. Bennett had a 3, they don't want to shoot just yet. Still got 12 seconds to go. Now to Cox, 10 seconds and counting. Ball is in Finlayson's hand. Skips it across to Barbin. Got to go now, 3 seconds, 2 seconds to Hart. Nice reverse layup around Munson with 1 second to go, and Dixie will take a 14-13 lead after 1 quarter. We'll be right back, folks.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
We're back. It's quarter number 2, all queued up and ready to go. Our net's on fire clock, the 8 minutes on the clock. And here come the Thunder, down by 1. They made a great comeback, got the lead, but right now they trail. Vandermeide in the high post, Goes in on DeHart, left-handed layup. Boy, Preston Vandermeide has brought his A game tonight. He's got 7.
Already hit a 3, and he has 2 buckets inside the paint attacking DeHart.
On the other end, Cox with the lefty shot, up and high off the glass and good. And back and forth we go, 16-15 Flyers. Inside, Munson, beautiful up and under move. And it's 17-16 Thunder.
That was a great pass from Landek, but for Munson to readjust midair was insane.
Beautiful save on a rebound after the miss by Dixie as Munson gets it to Landek. Landek stop and pop 3. That one was short. Had the look he wanted. A little behind the back and pull up. Wouldn't go. Bennett, hard charge, and I say charge. That's an offensive charge. Charge block call tonight brought to you by Sand Hollow Resort. And let's get a replay and see what we think about this one.
Yeah, Newby was well aware that Bennett was probably going to put his shoulder down and end up attacking the basket there, even in a 1-on-3 opportunity. Set his feet, was still sliding maybe a tad, but just enough to stay still as he took the contact and got the ball back in the hands of Mason Landek.
Thunder 17, Flyers 16, quarter number 2. We played a minute here in the second on our Nets on Fire clock. Thanks to Nets on Fire. Go to their website, netsonfire.org, and find out how you can take your game to the next level. Landek has it. Looking for a little help. He gets it to Vandermeide in the lane. Backs his man down. Now changes his mind. Gives it out to Landek. Landek, no look pass to Vandermeide. Shot up, no good. Cox with Barbin with the big rebound. Finlinson, he goes all the way and shoots it over Munson. In for 2, and Dixie's back on top.
Man, this Flyers guard forward lineup is not afraid to attack the big man. Last week, Desert Hills got very little resistance against the smaller Hurricane squad. Here, Dixie has not been afraid to go right to the cup.
Swinging around the horn, hard drive. Reggie Newby, stop pop, shot no good. Finlinson, another good rebound. He's on his way to a double-double. He has 2 points already, 4 rebounds.
Tough shooting night so far for Reggie Newby. 0 of 4 from the field.
Bennett back outside to Finn. Finlinson gives it to Carson Forsey. 18-17, Flyers on top, 2 minutes into the second. Finlinson drives all the way in. Another nice touch. Another shot over Munson for 2. Finlinson starting to warm up now.
Look familiar? That's the exact same play he scored on last possession. Driving hard to the right, finishing with the right hand, and creating just enough space between him and the big man.
Landek gets it to Newby. Newby, no look pass over to Judkins. Judkins cut off now to Munson. Munson back to Judkins, who dropped it but got it back. He drives in the lane, gives it to Munson. Ball tipped away from behind by Barbin. Stop and pop. Finlinson for 3, no good. Rebound ripped out of there, and DeHart throws a guy down. Everybody says, calm down, it's cool. I'm just helping him up. Personal foul called on Alicio DeHart, and that's 2 on him.
Yeah, that means we're going to see Kean Webb check off the bench for the Flyers. His first minutes of the night coming with 5 minutes, 6 seconds in the second quarter. Get a good look at it here. It's just an over-the-back call. A little bit of wrestling going around. Judkins ends up on the ground. No harm done. Play on.
Landek, by the way, I'm used to him either purple or green shoes. He's just wearing plain black tonight.
Huh.
That's why I didn't recognize him at first. Different number and no bright shoes. Probably has more shoes than I do. More shoes than my wife does, maybe. Munson inside, makes a move and misses the shot. Had a great move. $1 million move, 50-cent finish, as Michael Jordan used to say. Munson misses the shot. 2017, Dixie with the lead and the basketball. Forsey will back things out. And right on the block D at midcourt. Forsey drives on Newby, now gets it out to Finlinson. They're going to take the air out of the ball a little bit. Maybe trying to spread Dixie out. Finlinson hands it off to Bennett. Bennett now to Forsey, just standing out at midcourt. Forsey to Finlinson. Vandermeide guarding him. Finlinson drives in, gets it to Barbin for 3. Shot rattles home. Team D auto 3 for Bronson Barbin, and it's 23-17.
Bronson Barbin is one of those sneaky three-point shooters on the year. That is his 5th.
Ball goes to the ground. It's a turnover. They keep trying to get Munson on the baseline. Wasn't there for him. Now, beautiful fast break. Barbin hits Forsey. And it's 25-17.
And we're seeing a mix of all things right now. We're seeing the Flyers back it out, slow it down, be patient, find the right look, and then we're seeing them attack off the rebound. They're playing two different styles, and Desert Hills hasn't been able to adjust to either.
Landek, long three, in and out, no good. He fell down. Maybe tried to draw the 4-point play type foul. Referee wasn't buying. Landek is limping a little too, by the way.
That's a couple tough shots from Landek. He's hit one earlier on, but a good chunk of these have kind of been forced. He's got the talent to hit him, but right now they need something maybe a little bit easier.
And they were both dead on line. They were just short as Bennett takes it to the hole, scores over Judkins, and the lead is up to 10.
And now this Dixie is getting in the paint with Vandermeid and Munson on the floor.
Offensive foul. Vandermeid tried to go from top of the key to the hole. Kean Webb takes the charge. That's a foul.
You love the energy from Kean Webb. Anytime he steps on the floor, he's passionate, he's emotional. He had to guard Munson his first defensive possession, did a good job. Right there, he steps in and takes the offensive foul.
Momentum is all blue and white right now. Timeout on the floor. 30-second break. We'll be right back.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Welcome back, Andy and Rusty here. We're at Dixie High School where the Flyers gave up the lead. They actually trailed 17-16. They're on an 11-0 run right now. Ethan Bennett on the angle left. Judkins on him. They want to go into Kean Webb. Webb back outside to Barbin. And Dixie will reset. Isaac Finlinson out near half court. Backs things up. Nearly stepped on the midcourt line, but did not. Now wants to go one-on-one. Gives it up to Bennett. Dixie taking the air out a little bit again, trying to look for some matchups. Gives it to Forsey. Forsey to Finlinson. Back to Forsey. One-on-one to Barbin. Another three for Barbin. That one no good. Vandermeid on the glass.
Right now the Flyers being patient to find the proper look. Desert Hills needs something on the offensive end.
To Newby. Newby, little runner off the glass, underhand scoop. Why not?
And I do believe those might be Reggie Newby's first points of the night.
Yep, first basket for Noob.
1 of 5 from the field now.
And it's 27-19. That stops an 11-0 run for Dixie. As Finlinson holds on. Again, Dixie spreads it out. There's a little delay on offense and tries to get you isolated for a one-on-one. It works pretty well.
It does, and other than Barbin's three, all these points have came in the paint. This has been a hard-driving, attacking, dive-down Dixie type of offense right now.
Hard drive, Forsey drops it off for Barbin. Missed a little baby hook. Got his own rebound, put it back up, and he is fouled. Bronson Barbin doing yeoman-like work inside.
And the beauty of this offense is we get a solid look at it here for our TV audience. Great pass from Forsey. Barbin can't finish. Doesn't give up on the play, gets his rebound, draws the foul from Vandermeid. Right now, the way Dixie's isolating, spreading things out, when one person attacks, it throws the rest of the defense off guard enough that allows guys in there. If Barbin didn't get that basketball, there was another Flyer right around the vicinity as Bronson makes his first fabulous Freddy's free throw.
90 seconds left in the quarter, and the lead is back to 10 at 29-19. By the way, Landek is out of the game. Judkins running the point for the Thunder. Maybe coach not liking a couple of those deep threes, huh?
Yeah, and just as you say that, Mason back at the scorer's table, but it's definitely a change of pace.
Inside, Vandermeid has it stolen away.
That's right.
Tried to go 1-on-2, didn't work. Three at the other end, no good by Bennett. Tipped up and in. Who got it, Barbin or Finlinson?
That was Finlinson with the quick hand up there and finishing. Another offensive rebound on back-to-back possessions. And there's the finish by Isaac Finlinson.
A minute to go in the quarter. The lead is up to 12. Biggest lead of the game for Dixie High School here at home. The defending champs showing why. Peyton Holmes back in the game. He's got it. He drives to the lane and throws it away. Fast break out there. Bennett on the run. Shot up, partially blocked, but an easy follow for Isaac Finlinson. Bennett might be hurt, though.
Yeah, he's holding that right wrist, it appears. That was a strong attack going up against two Thunder players. Finlinson with the trailer. Instead of standing back and watching his teammate, he dives in expecting the miss, and he's able to clean it up nicely.
Score right now 33-19. We've got a quick timeout just because of the injury. And by the way, the Dixie Jetettes come out in stilts, ready to do their halftime show. Maybe that's why the crowd is bigger. All the parents of the Jetettes are here, huh? 33-19. Long three, Newby, no good. That's not the shot that Coach Allred wants. You got to figure, right?
It really isn't. I mean, we've seen Desert Hills, a good majority of their shots tonight have come from beyond the arc, and they've all been contested.
The thing about Dixie that we learned is when they get the lead, they're going to use the heck out of the clock. And I believe on a dish-off, we'll have an offensive foul on Forsey.
Yeah, Reggie Newby steps in, takes the contact, and you like that. He's not having a great shooting night so far, only 2 points for a guy who averages right around 11. But right there, he's able to step in, use his body, take the charge, and give Desert Hills a shot with 6.3 seconds.
Got to get a shot away, 4 seconds to go. Hard push, stop and pop. Landeck for three, in and out, no good. Tipped up, wouldn't have counted anyway. And Dixie finishing on a, let's see, it was 17-16, so a 17-2 run. A little bit of a, extracurricular there at midcourt as we go to halftime.
I didn't see it. What was happening? The crowd is definitely fired up.
I think because the players had to cross each other as they headed toward the locker rooms, I think there was some shouldering and stuff. I don't know if our CAC friends have a replay on what happened on that. Right now the coach is just talking things over and the players have headed to the locker room. But that was a little bit weird, the end of the half. A little bit of a flaring of tempers, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really like you said, this is the biggest crowd we've had really all year, more likely than not. And so, I mean, emotions are high. Dixie coming off a loss. Fans are here. Two rivals, really 1 and 2 in Region 9. It's expected to be a little chippy.
17-2 the run to close out the quarter, and Dixie leads it 33-19. Remember, it was 17-16 in favor of the Thunder. That's how big the last 5 minutes of the second quarter were. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, the Info West halftime report is right coming at you, and Dixie leading it by 14 points.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Beyond the park you know, exists a world you don't. A world that is greater. Greater than just one passion. Greater than just one adventure. Greater than just one moment. Come to where life is greater. Come to Greater Zion.
Welcome back to Dixie High School. You can see the Jetettes doing what they do. This is pretty impressive stuff. I've always been impressed with their halftime shows. And if memory serves, they're the Region 9 champions, I believe.
I think you're right.
And they are, well, purple hair and all. They're getting it done. Little Mardi Gras, I guess, down there on the court, right, Rustin?
Absolutely. I mean, I think ultimately this is in celebration of the Jazz beating the Pelicans back-to-back. We have now taken over Mardi Gras. It's ours.
Jazz have won 7 in a row, and 2 of those against, like you said, the Mardi Gras Kings and New Orleans Pelicans. So anyway, here we have a little bit of a surprise. Dixie leading it by 14 at the half, and again, one more time, I'll do it. They had 11 at halftime 2 nights ago. 11. They have 33 at halftime tonight. What changed? What's different, Rustin?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we've seen Dixie attack in 2 different ways, and I touched on this a little bit. Against Snow Canyon, the Flyers were so disgruntled that they couldn't get into any rhythm. It was hero ball. It was Isaac Finlinson or Ethan Bennett, one-on-one opportunities. Here, they're backing it out. They're slowing things up. They're getting those opportunities, but they're waiting until the Thunder defense collapses or gives them that look. And then the biggest thing with I really feel right off of any shot that Desert Hills is putting up, that they're turning, they're running, and they're gunning. Any opportunity they have that comes off the back iron, front iron, whatever it may be, Dixie's corralling it and they're pushing, they're going. If they can catch the Thunder defense a tiny bit off guard before they get set, it's leading to finishes in the paint. And if the Thunder defense has a chance to get set, they're patient. They wait, they pull it out, and they get the desired matchup they want. We talked about this in our Camping World Keys to the Game, that there would be a favorable matchup somewhere on the floor, and ultimately the Flyers have worked until they found just that.
2 big stories in my mind. One, that Dixie is scoring. They didn't do that Wednesday night.
Yeah.
The other, Desert Hills is not scoring. 19 points at the half. I would submit, I don't know this for sure, but I'm a betting man. I'd say that's their lowest point total at halftime all year long.
It really has to be. I mean, this is a Thunder squad on average who puts up about 75 points a game, especially since region play started, and here they sit with 19 and a half. And we can talk, maybe it's an off shooting night. I'm going to be honest, I don't like any look that Desert Hills has had tonight except for the things that have come inside. Any shot beyond the arc, including Mason Landek's hit, that was impressive, all of them have had a hand in their face, toughly, tightly guarded. They're just not great looks. And right now the Thunder are beginning to panic a little bit. This isn't a situation that they're used to being in, being down. They've been in back and forth games. They've been in games where they've led by quite a bit, but they're trying to figure out how to play from behind without throwing up anything that slightly resembles a look. And they've had one game that I can think of, AG, where they had to come back from a big deficit, and that was against Payson.
Our halftime brought to you by InfoWest, the internet people. Real quick, Hearst Ace Hardware scoreboard update. Halftime, Crimson Cliffs at home, 41 on the board. They lead by 10 over Cedar. They finished the half with an 11-0 run and have a 10-point lead right now at the break. Dixie State winning by 3 at halftime over Grand Canyon. It's a big lead for them against a very good team. I had a score from Region 12. How about Ridgeline right now at the end of 3 leading Skyview 45-40? That'd be a big upset there in Region 12. So here's some scores to keep an eye on. I don't know that we have a Pineview Hurricane or a Snow Canyon View score at the half, but here it is 33-19. I believe we have some CEC highlights, right? There we go.
And honestly, this is right from the get-go, right off the tip. DeHart controls it off the Finlinson tip, kicks it to Forsey. Here's Landek with the tough contested 3. He's able to knock down. How about a drive by Landek? That ball's knocked away into the hands of Ethan Bennett, who finishes with the left hand on the other end. He's been explosive. Landek's pass batted away, stolen by Finlinson. Finlinson pushes the pace to Forsey. Forsey to Cox. Beautiful ball movement from this Flyers squad.
Well, Dixie, really unselfish play. We saw on that play Finlinson with the beautiful dish inside. A nice finish, and about halfway through the second quarter, we have us a ball game, but then
yeah.
Dixie caught on fire after that.
This is the part where Desert Hills gets back in it. A Vandermeid 3 followed after a Munson lay-in, and then Landek, a tough Tough contested three, his second of the night. I love this pass. This was to end the first. Jeffrey Cox gets it in the high post. No-looker passed it to Hart with the reverse. He finishes. That's the end of the first. Now here's where the Flyers get rolling. Bronson Barbin, a part of that big run. He hit the only three that was a part of that big run. Everything else was just like this. Inside, Ethan Bennett with the little left-handed scoop. Newby trying to get Desert Hills back in it. His only points of the night, a little high push shot right off the glass. And then on the other end, we see Dixie going to work on the boards, and Isaac Finlinson tip. He had two of those. In fact, I believe it's after this. Bennett was pushing, heavily contested, missed the lay-in, Finlinson behind to clean it up.
He's an underrated rebounder, isn't he, Isaac Finlinson?
We talk about Finlinson all the time and his ability to score, even to assist. But when you look at his rebound numbers, I mean, he hauls in nearly 8 a game, and half of those are normally offensive. The thing that makes players great isn't necessarily points per game or ability to score the basketball. It's to have a nose for where the basketball is going to go. And Finlinson knows anytime a shot's up, he always puts himself in the right position to where he feels that basketball is going to careen off the back iron.
Halftime brought to you by InfoWest. A stat line brought to you by Wilkinson. Leading scorers in the first half for Desert Hills. 7 points from Preston Vandermeide and 6 for Mason Landeck, but those were on 2 first-quarter three-pointers. Didn't score in the second and had a couple of turnovers. On the other side, leading scorer Isaac Finlinson, 8 points, 6 each for Ethan Bennett and Jeffrey Cox. It's halftime here. Let's mention a couple other scores, then we'll go to break. Bronson Barbin had a 3 and 2 free throws for 5, 4 points each for Carson Forsey and Alicio D. Hart as Dixie leads it by a count of 33-19 here at the half. They're probably going to take the air out of the ball a little bit in the second half, folks. Be ready for that. Right now, though, let's take a final 1-minute timeout. It's the InfoWest halftime, and Dixie up by 14.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
We are ready for half number 2 here from the hangar. Andy and Rustin courtside here at Dixie High School, and the Flyers, surprisingly, I expected a close game. It was close in the second quarter until Dixie finished on a 17-2 run to take a 14-point lead.
And the most impressive part of that being only 3 of those 17 points came from beyond the arc.
Inside, Finlinson being guarded by Munson. Spins on him, can't get the shot away. Back out to Forsey. Deep ball. Forsey got it. A Team Deotto 3, and the lead has ballooned to 17.
How about Carson Forsey? He's good for about 1 of those a game. Hits his first attempt from deep.
Peyton Holmes back in. He goes baseline, has it stolen away by Alicio D. Hart. Flyers on the run. Bennett drives in and lays it up. The lead is 19. Dixie's running away with this one.
Finlinson, what a pass.
Ball nearly thrown away, and a reaching foul called on Forsey, but Desert Hills right now is in big trouble. They're doubled right now, 38-19.
And I am blown away by that pass that we just saw from Isaac Finlinson coming down the floor off the steal. Just a beautiful recognition. It was 3-on-2. Bennett was kind of in the corner. He threaded the needle just a tad and allowed Bennett to finish.
Baseline, Holmes had a 3, didn't take it. Peyton still a little bit, I think, lacking in confidence right now. Judkins, now to Newby, top of the key. Back to Judkins. Can't get a shot away. Don't know how to attack this Dixie zone. Now high post Landick into Munson. Munson goes to Duncan, and he's fouled from behind by Finlinson. And why not? First foul of the game on Finlinson.
And It hasn't been an ideal scenario for the Thunder out of the half. Let's just say that. But free throws hopefully will kind of calm the team down a little bit, put a couple of easy points on the board if Munson can convert here.
Well, that's the problem. You got to make your free throws, and Munson misses the first. Keegan has 2 baskets, 4 points in the game. One more coming, and he missed them both. That will not settle you down if you miss a pair. Inside, reverse layup, no good. Forsey wanted a foul. Referee says no foul, but out of bounds off of Munson.
Look at how well coached the Flyers are. Forsey had snuck all the way down to the other end of the floor. Cox knew as soon as that board was in his hands that he would have Forsey down there, fired a rocket of a pass, didn't end up finishing.
And an illegal screen on the offensive end for Dixie as the official picks out, I believe, what they call it on Bennett? No, they call on Finlinson. And quickly, Isaac Finlinson with 2 fouls. He had 0 at halftime.
And it's interesting to see the depth discrepancy here because Desert Hills has already played a lot of guys. Dixie's played Kean Webb and Bronson Barbin.
Try the entry pass to Holmes at the high post, and Alicio DeHart picks up his 3rd personal foul. Didn't see hardly any foul. Neither team got in the bonus in the first half. We're already seeing 4 quick fouls here in the second half, all of them on the Dixie Flyers.
Yeah, and just like that, Kean Webb back into the game, had a fantastic first half, drew a charge, played good defense.
Newby tries a 3. That's high and too high. Off the back iron. Jeffrey Cox on the glass. Desert Hills can't buy one right now as they trail. They haven't scored here in the second half. We played it almost 2 minutes. Flyers by 19 points. Not kidding. 19-point lead. Kean Webb goes to Bennett. Bennett on the angle left. Gets a screen from Webb. Has Munson on him. Drives the baseline. Gets it out to Finn. Finn for 3. No good. Can't buy one still.
I don't think Isaac's hit a triple tonight. Has he, AG?
No, he hadn't hit a triple in about a week. Baseline. Newby drops it off to Holmes. Holmes over Webb. Got a lucky little straight-on bank shot. And finally, Desert Hills has scored here in the second half.
The Thunder need that. They need Peyton Holmes to come alive here in the second half. His first points of the ball game.
38-21. Dixie on top. They're dominating right now. What's have to happen is Desert Hills is going to have to dominate if they're going to get back in this game. Hard drive, Bennett. Shot blocked out of there by Munson, but a holding foul on the drive. I think they're going to get Judkins on the personal. For Justin, that is personal foul number 1, I believe. Yep, that's his first.
And watch how these Flyer players move without the basketball. There's purpose in almost every cut they make.
Finlinson left on alone baseline, missed another 3. Rebound to Landick on the run. Bennett chasing him. Up and under move, good for 2. Landick finally gets back in the scoring column after not scoring the entire second quarter. And the lead is 15.
Yeah, Desert Hills slowly but surely trying to cut into it. It's been a long process, but the last couple possessions have shown a little bit of hope.
Kean Webb out in 3-point territory, not going to shoot that. Looking for help, goes to Bennett. Bennett on the angle right now, left side to Forsey. Forsey, skip pass across to Bennett from 15. No, he decides not to shoot it. Drives baseline, skips it back outside to Cox. They let Cox have a 3. He goes to Forsey. Forsey lays it, gets it up on the glass before Munson can get it. And Forsey now with 9 points.
And so far, Dixie has eliminated Keegan Munson's ability as a shot blocker as we get a foul on the floor. But have we seen a Keegan block yet tonight? I mean, I can't recall one. Maybe one.
Yeah. Personal foul called on Cox, by the way. That's his first. On the drive by Landick. 5 team fouls on Dixie with 4:41 to go in the third quarter. Going to be a lot of free throws for D Hills if they play aggressively. Try the alley-oop, but Kean Webb got a piece of that one, and Munson couldn't get there. It's a turnover. Finlinson had it tapped by Holmes, but they get it back. 4.5 to go, third quarter. 17-point Dixie lead after the Flyers dropped one at home. Inside, pass by Cox, picked off. Good hands, I believe, by Munson. Long lead to Holmes. Holmes in heavy traffic, has to back out. Looking for help, drives in the lane, gives it back up. Long Landick 3, that's in and out, no good. Webb on the glass. And again, another questionable decision by Landick on that one. That was about 26 feet.
I was going to say he had room, he had separation, but that's simply due to how deep he was.
Dixie back on the O by 17. Bennett to Finlinson, Judkins on him. Finlinson, spin move in the lane, turn around, up, no good. Munson on the glass. Surviving a kind of bad shooting night by Finlinson. Holmes drives in the lane, finger roll off the glass, got it over Webb and good.
Peyton Holmes trying to come alive. He's good for about 10 a game, and now he's at 94 points on the year.
Only 4 so far in this one. 40-25. Desert Hills looking to make a run and get back in this thing. Bennett drives in, cut off by Judkins and Munson. Nearly threw it away, and does. Landick comes away with it. Transition 3 is no good. Rebound, though, to Reggie Newby. Newby and Landick will reset. Landick gets a screen from Munson, drives it in the lane, up and under move, no good. Alley or a rebound dunk by Keegan Munson. Wow.
The ability. Keegan Munson thought he was going to get the ball at the top of the key, didn't. Went and set the pick for Landick, crashed hard, and ends up with a massive slam.
Bennett in the lane, pivot move, and they're going to say travel. That's a turnover. Desert Hills said maybe a little glimmer of hope here as they cut it for 13 and have the basketball.
Timeout Dixie. I don't think 13 points feels as comfortable as 19 did only seconds ago.
See that move, and here's the follow slam for those of us on video. Munson way up. You got to get up to throw down. And we'll take a 30-second timeout. Be right back.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms. This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the sage brushes, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Come down, turn please, ready? Sodium carbonate.
Desert Hills trying to climb back in this thing. They trail now by 13. It was as big as 19. And the Thunder have the basketball as Landick walks it across the timeline. Drives in the lane, kicks in the corner. Judkins for 3. Too hard. Rebound lost out of bounds. Trying to get it was Cox around. Cox and Webb were around Munson. They couldn't corral it. It's Desert Hills' ball.
Well, and we're kind of seeing two different styles here. Desert Hills was struggling when all they were doing was shooting contested threes, which is common sense. But right now the Thunder have been attacking the basket. They've been trying to get inside. We've seen Holmes with buckets inside. We saw Munson crash the boards there. Starting to attack, get into the paint has really changed the momentum here.
Turnaround Jay in the lane on the catch and shoot by Landick, and it's an 11-point game. Mason with 4 in the quarter, 10 in the game. Shot the other way, no good. Rebound by the Thunder. Landick in the forecourt, crosses over, drives in the lane. Nearly lost it, got it back, and they'll reset. They could cut it to single figures here. Forsey with the kick. That'll reset. 2:15 to go third quarter, 40-29. Starting to turn into the game we thought it would be, but Desert Hills has not come back yet. They still trail by 11.
Finlinson back off the bench for the Flyers. Short rest for him.
Inside, Vandermeid has it stolen away by Barbin. Was worried about Webb, never saw Barbin. That's a turnover. Here comes Finlinson. Finlinson guarded by Peyton Holmes. Will drive in the lane. No shot. Has to go back outside as Dixie looks like they're going to take the air out of the ball again with under 2 to go in the third. Bennett drives in. A little runner. Got the roll on the teardrop, and the lead is back to 13.
Going back to what expanded that lead in the first place, pulling it back out, waiting till you see the right move, and Bennett saw it there.
Judkins' bad pass went wrong shoulder on his big guy Munson. Throw it to his left shoulder. It was the right shoulder that was open. That's a turnover. Dixie back to a 13-point edge. Finlinson drives all the way in. No look to Webb. Webb has it blocked out of there. Probably should have been a goaltend. Instead, they're going to say Dixie touched it coming out of bounds.
Oh.
It'll be Desert Hills' ball. I think he touched that thing in the cylinder.
Thankfully, we got the CEC TV replay.
Yeah. Tough call there.
And here's the Boo Birds.
Fans don't like it. 1:19 to go in the third quarter. Still a 13-point Dixie lead. And again, you would get down big at stop and pop. Landick shot is short. Rebound Bennett. Looking up court, trying to run with it. Goes all the way in, and a bumping foul call on Desert Hills on the pass. The thing I was going to say is if you're down anywhere from 6 to 15 to Dixie in the fourth quarter, they're going to take the air out of the ball. They're going to stall. So really important for Desert Hills to climb back in this thing now with a minute to go in the third. Bennett with a hard drive. Acrobatic layup is good over Judkins.
And just when we thought the Dixie defense was starting to deflate, Ethan Bennett back-to-back buckets.
Bennett's got a dozen as they go into Landick. Landick to Munson, and there's a dunk. The throwdown makes it a 13-point game.
2 slams for Munson in one game isn't uncommon, but his ability to move without the basketball there really helped out his teammates.
Fans wanted a backcourt call, but that's a right call by the official. They only had 1 foot in the forecourt. That's legal. You can go back after that. Now to Finlinson, 25 seconds ago. In the corner, Barban open 3, no good. Rebound to Judkins. Judkins crosses over. Got numbers now, 4 on 3. They leave it for Landick in the corner. 3, Peyton Holmes, no good. And a rebound Dixie now with 10 seconds to go. They can play for 1 here. Finlinson backs it out, 6 seconds, got to go now, being chased by Judkins. Drives hard in the lane, gets it to Forsey, long 3, got it! As time expires, a big 3 by Carson Forsey, and the lead is 16 as we head to the fourth quarter. Real quick replay on CEC, deep ball, swish, and it's 47-31. We'll be back in a minute.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Well, Desert Hills made a run, got within 11, and a beautiful dunk here as we watch those on video, watch a replay of Keegan Munson, but that brought it to only to a 13, and then Carson Forsey with the deep ball, got a clean look, a little bit beyond the three-point line, and look at that swish right in front of the Dixie bench, and then he gets hugs from his coach. That's not COVID safe, but that's okay. Big 3. And we set the clock at 8 minutes to go. Desert Hills undefeated. Well, maybe not anymore if they don't make a big comeback now as we start quarter number 4. Judkins drives in, acrobatic shot over Webb, got it to go and 1.
Yeah, Kean Webb coming in a little late there, hands held high, but they're going to call him for body contact. Judkins with a quick sweeping move, able to finish it, and that's what they need. Carson Forsey on the other end at the end of the third quarter, that seemed like one of those plays that may take away any energy from the other team, but Judkins with a three-point play as his own as he hits from the free throw line.
Makes it 47-34. By the way, that's the first points of the game for a guy that averages more than 10 in Justin Judkins. Dixie spreads them out now. Man defense, and the Flyers are standing in the 4 corners. Finlinson drives in the lane, and a quick reaching foul called on Landick. I believe that's going to be the first of the game on Mason. Well, they say it is his second. And Dixie will inbound it. This is what they want to do to you now. They want to spread you out, force you to foul, and get easy shots. 7.5 to go in the game. Dixie hands it off to Bennett. Bennett and Finlinson playing a little catch. In the corner it goes. Had Webb underneath. Bronson Barban didn't see him. Instead they go outside to Forsey. Forsey to Finlinson for 3. And finally Isaac Finlinson gets a deep ball to go, and it's a big one.
It's been a long time coming for Isaac Finlinson.
Shot up and under. Landick can't get it to go. And Dixie on the rebound. It's a 50-34 lead. At what point, Rustin, do we say its comeback's not happening?
Yeah, I think
it's got to be soon, right?
Very soon, especially with how Dixie's going to control the basketball here. We talk about it often, but the Flyers are going to play very slow. They're not going to take a shot until it is absolutely the right one, and that's even amplified here with 6 minutes 47 seconds left on our Nets on Fire clock.
50-34 is the score. Dixie with the ball after a foul out high. Finlinson's got it, being guarded by Landek. Drives in the lane, leaves it for Webb. Webb, no looker. Wow, thought he was going to Finlinson. Instead, he went to Cox, who laid it up for two.
Beautiful pass from Kean Webb. Great recognition, and that's the ball movement we've seen all night long from the Flyers. It hasn't been one guy. It's been Forsey, it's been Bennett, it's been Finlinson, and right there, Kean Webb with the beautiful assist.
Baseline pass to Vandermeid. He can't get the shot to go. It's that kind of night for Desert Hills. That looked like an easy layup, and it just rattled out of there. Rebound to Finlinson.
And Vandermeid was big in that second quarter when D. Hills got back in the ball game. He's been quiet ever since.
Dixie playing a little keep away now. 6 minutes on the clock. It's 52-34. And another reach and a bumping foul called on Landek. I think Landek, you know, we saw this with a kid for Snow Canyon. I'm not going to use his name, but a couple of years ago, the referees watch film, and they do sometimes label a guy as being a ticky-tack kind of a guy. I think Landek's got that reputation a little bit. That was a really ticky-tack foul.
Well, he's got quick hands. He has multiple steals this year, and right there, and a couple in this ball game.
They try to double at the mid-court. Forsey gets away from it. Now they go high post to Barbin, over to Bennett. Open three for Bennett, in and out, no good. An offensive rebound. Barbin put up, put back, no good. Barbin gets the rebound, and they'll use some more clock. It's Dixie by 18, 5.5 to go. Holmes on Finlinson. Finlinson crossover. Goes to Barbin. Barbin wraparound pass to Webb. Now to Finlinson. Lefty layup, no good. Rebound, Barbin. Goes to the floor, and what do we got? A push, a kick? We're going to call it a kick, I believe, yeah. Dixie player Barbin, in trying to find the basketball, kicked it.
Barbin's 1 of 3 from beyond the arc tonight, but he has been playing fantastic defense. He's been fighting for every rebound. He's been involved in a lot of these plays despite the points not showing it. I mean, for a guy who averages about 3 a game, that's Barbin's role. He comes in and he fills it to perfection, fights hard there, but the kick's going to give it back to D. Hills. They need a bucket. You can't afford to go scoreless at this point.
High post, Holmes, 12-footer, no good. Rebound to the ground and picked up by who? No, we're going to call it a held ball. Jump ball called, brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth. One of our great sponsors here on the broadcast, Simply Wisdom Teeth. Always a great low price of $899 to get all 4 wisdom teeth pulled, including sedation. Dr. Hendrickson at simplywisdomteeth.com with all those 5-star reviews. Dixie with numbers, wraparound, Webb, easy layup. Oh, he missed it, got it back, and drew a foul on Munson, but oops, and missed a puppy on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you find yourself too wide open, right? And that's a real thing where you kind of get a little clammy in that situation, but regardless, gets his own rebound and opportunity to earn it from the fabulous Freddy's line.
Webb to the line, misses the first one. By the way, the foul on Munson is his second of the game. Kean Webb gets one more free throw. He hasn't scored in this game. By the way, Herstate's Hardware scoreboard update. Crimson led by 10 at halftime. Cedar is pulled within 62-58 after 3 quarters of play. Lead pass, Holmes. Holmes, great move. And he can't get the and one. It rolls around, hangs precipitously on the back of the iron. Won't go in. Holmes will get free throws, though.
Yeah, Peyton Holmes has really been one of the main aggressors here in the second half for the Thunder. It has not been an ideal second half, only 15 points here with 4 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the fourth, but he's been the one who's been willing to go to the basket. Right there, gets underneath, catches Barbin in the air.
Barbin gets his first personal, and Peyton Holmes gets the free throw. Peyton first points of the second half, or the fourth quarter, rather. In fact, Desert Hills only has the three-point play by Judkins and that one free throw by Holmes, and there's a timeout on the floor. 4:44 left in the ball game. 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it good?
Over at Dixie Dixie State University, it is the Flyers and Grand Canyon tied at 61 with 7 minutes left in that game. Hunter Schofield has 23 points to lead the Trailblazers, but got a barn burner going on over there. Here it's a Dixie favor as Holmes hits a couple of free throws. Dixie leads by 17 points here in the second half. They try a little full court press. Numbers for Dixie, they don't take advantage of it, but they do get the ball back. Bennett traveled with the ball. Yeah, he didn't see it. He didn't think he did, but you and I saw him slide that pivot foot.
You know, one of these days we're going to see a player get a call overturned, but it's not today.
Or maybe just as likely a player actually agree with the call.
Just as likely, I agree.
Skip past Judkins, can't get a shot away, goes in the corner. Catch and shoot, Landick left it short, not even close.
Oh, they'll let him hear that one.
Down court, easy layup off the air ball. Bennett makes it a 19-point game. And Dixie gets a turnover and a timeout called by Coach Roberts. It's 55-36. Was it Bennett on that last make? I think it was. And Bennett and now with, wrong Ethan. Bennett now with 14 in the game.
Off the assist from Carson Forsey.
Finlinson with 11 and another timeout. We'll take a 30-second break. Dixie owning this one, up by 19, and the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert is in effect. We'll be right back.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Dixie, Desert Hills, a marquee matchup. It lived up to it for about 1.5 quarters, back and forth, trading the lead, and then the Flyers took off. The Thunder fell flat. And it's been all Dixie ever since then. They led by a 33-19 count at halftime. It ballooned to 47-31 at the end of the third. It's now up to 55-36. Biggest lead, matches the biggest lead of the night for Dixie right now. They lead by 19. Finlinson taking his time. Dixie can, the clock is their ally now. They have all the time in the world. Finlinson, 5-second, closely guarded. Good call by the official. Staying with them the whole time was Landick, and Finlinson, quite frankly, losing track of the count.
And Landick's done a solid job despite the score on Finlinson tonight. He does have a triple. He's gotten to the rim a couple times, but instead of Judkins, it has been Mason charged with that responsibility.
Peyton Holmes tries a three, and again, the rebounding has been solid for Dixie on the miss. Ripped out of there by who else but Isaac Finlinson. Finlinson finds Cox, open two, the lead is 21.
That's the high basketball IQ play. That ball had barely touched Finlinson's hands before it was already a bounce pass into Cox's arms.
Holmes drives in, tries a little runner, no good. Another solid rebound, this time Barbin, and a breakaway. Cox, layup. Dixie is running away from the Desert Hills Thunder. 59-36. Munson can't hold it on the entry feed. This one's over, folks. I hate to call with 3.5 left, but Dixie has ripped the heart out of the Desert Hills Thunder in this one. What a game for this Dixie team. Ball tipped away by Holmes off of Forsey. No, they say off of Holmes. Back to Dixie. 59-36. Who'd have thunk, huh?
Well, 36. I mean, this is a Thunder squad that scores 75.
Now they have numbers, 2-on-1. Bennett drives in, can't get the shot to go, and they're going to call a goaltend. I don't think he goaltended that time, but he did hit the backboard, and that's not legal. Watch it again on the replay. Yeah, he slapped the backboard. You can't do that. Another bucket for Bennett. He has 16 in the game. And Dixie leads it by 25 points. Wow. Landick over to Newby. Newby alley-oop. That's a dunk. It feels good, I guess, for Desert Hills, but they're down by 23 still.
Keegan Munson's third slam of the night. Nice solid assist there from Reggie Newby.
He's got 10 points, but Dixie all over it. Ball goes out of bounds. We're going to call a foul or an out of bounds call. I can't see the official. Got a crowd going over there. What do you call, Rustin? Can you tell?
Oh, it's definitely, I think, going to be a foul on 42, Keegan Munson, unless it was a
I think they might just say, they're going to say jump ball. No foul either way. 61-38. Holbrook, here's the replay. That should have been a foul on Munson, yeah. Tough call for Dixie on that one.
And Finlayson definitely got a hit on the head there. Actually hit the referee's kneecap on his way down.
Alley-oop. Munson, this time no dunk, but he does get the layup at 61-40. But with 2:22 left, it's all over but the shouting. Inside, Finlayson, lay it up and in as they break the press easily. Finlayson on the night, now with 13 points. 3 the other way. Newby, wide right. Rebound to Bennett. 1 on 3. He probably won't go on this one. Instead, it's a transition 3. That's in and out. But an offensive rebound by Cox. That's no good. Put back. Boy, I'll tell you what. All Flyers around the basketball. Barban gets the bucket on that one. He's got 7. Timeout on the floor. It's a full timeout. Our one-loss scoreboard has Dixie up huge. 65-40. Flyers on top. We'll be back.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
We're back live at Dixie High School. It was a great ball game for about 12 minutes. Unfortunately, it's a 32-minute game, and for Desert Hills, it's been all Dixie from about the middle of the second quarter on. They went on a 17-2 run, and now they lead Dixie by 25 points. The Flyers owning this one. Landick goes to the deck. A held ball, Bennett and Landick. Hopefully calmer heads will prevail. If it's a jump ball, that should be Dixie ball. It is, and it is. Again, held balls brought to you by Simply Wisdom Teeth. Timeout today brought to you by Scott Gibson team at Intercap Lending. Injury timeouts brought to you by Intermountain Sports Medicine. And our three-point sponsor tonight, Team D Autos. Threes have been pretty much a non-factor in this game. What do you say, Rustin?
I mean, Desert Hills has certainly wanted them to be a factor, and that hasn't been the case. Dixie's found their points inside. Couple new substitutions. Nick Peterson in the game, as well as DeHart.
Ball comes in to Dixie. DeHart gets a shot away. That's no good. Rebound finally. Nope. I was going to say taken down by Dixie. Nope. Instead, it goes back to Desert Hills, and Nick Peterson gets his first basket in this ball game, and it's 67-40. Nate McMillan in the game as well for D Hills. Landick leaves it for Munson. Munson is fouled by Peterson. Hard to commentate on this one because we expected such a close and exciting game, and it has not been a close game at all.
Well, you know, some of the games that we've expected to be the closest, really only one lived up to that billing so far, and that was Dixie Cedar a couple weeks ago. What was a 62-59 win in favor of the Flyers. That's been the closest game that I can recall this year, at least in Region 9 play.
You and I were talking after we stopped to get a beverage after Wednesday's game, a blowout 30-point game, that maybe we'd finally get a good game, and it hadn't happened. Inside Peterson, back outside. Why not? Use the clock. A minute to go. 67-42. Lone bright spot maybe in this game is a play of Munson for Desert Hills, but the lead is a balloon to 25 with 50 seconds to go. Finlayson steps inside of trouble. Now 3 out of the corner. That's a dagger right there as Nick Peterson hits a deep 3. It's 70-42.
And Peterson doesn't play a lot as Landick pulls from deep. He's going to hit that one. Big shot from Landick, a little too late. But what I love about Peterson is anytime he steps on the floor, even if it's just for a couple minutes, he's bound to end up with at least 5-6 points.
70-45. Peterson could have shot another 3. Instead, they'll use the clock with 20 seconds to go. Forsey out to Bennett. Back to Forsey. Dixie student section, such as it is, about maybe 40 kids strong, having a little fun over there. And that's going to do it. No fouls. 10 seconds left. As high fives start to go around, Forsey saying, let's go. Bring it on. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's your ball game. 70-45. Dixie High rips it open tonight after taking their first loss of the season in region play 2 nights ago. The heart of a champion was shown tonight as Dixie wins it big.
Yeah, it really, really was. Only days after the Flyers suffer their first region loss, they give Desert Hills their first loss on the year. And this is a Flyers squad who was at a point they aren't familiar with this year. They lost in a game that they weren't supposed to, which for them is almost every game they take the floor on. They came out and absolutely stuck it to the Thunder. Desert Hills had that confidence, had the belief that, hey, maybe we're the best team in the region, and Dixie certainly makes that a little more questionable. Everything's still very much up for grabs as Dixie ends up winning this one 70-45.
Let me give you a real quick before we go to break a score by quarter. First quarter, 14-13 Dixie. Okay, all right, good ball game. Second quarter, Dixie outscored Desert Hills 19-6. Third quarter, Flyers outscored Thunder 14-12. And the fourth quarter, Flyers outscored the Thunder 23-14. That's why you have a 25-point Dixie win on this night. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. The postgame report brought to you by Johnson Pediatrics. Postgame is coming up. We'll also have the Region 9 wrap-up show. We're going to have highlights from the good folks at CEC TV. Stay with us. Dixie wins it big, 70-45.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Beyond the park you know, exists a world you don't. A world that is greater. Greater than just one passion. Greater than just one adventure. Greater than just one moment. Come to where life is greater. Come to Greater Zion.
All right, we're going to come back now, 70-45, your final score. Dixie, go figure. This is a team that scored 40 points in a 15-point loss right here on this floor to Snow Canyon 2 nights ago, 48 hours ago. Fast forward 2 days, and the Flyers put 70 on the board. They blow out an undefeated team, 70-45. Explain to me, Rustin. I don't understand. Explain it to me.
Well, I really think that the Flyers adjusted their mindset. And what I mean by that is it's easy to get caught up in the sense that we're the defending champs of Utah 4A. We've been really ultimately good this year. Our only loss is Wasatch Academy, Lone Peak. We should take care of Snow Canyon. We're really looking ahead. I think the Flyers got caught looking ahead to tonight's game. Well, losing to Snow Canyon did a couple things for you. First of all, it really allowed you to get your mind back in the game. And this is a Dixie team that we saw posed from the very beginning. This is a Dixie team that we saw ready to rock and roll from the very beginning. They were aggressive from the tip. Finlinson tipped it to DeHart, who dumped it off to Forsey, who finished with the left hand. Like, that was the first play of the ball game. Dixie had a new mindset tonight. And one thing that I really enjoyed, Dixie mixed it up. If the Desert Hills defense was set, they would patiently wait, back things up until they got the right read, whether that was iso ball or a drive and kick to the corner for maybe a 3-ball. Most of the time it was a player one-on-one finishing at the rim, or off the rebound before the Thunder could get back, they would push the pace, get down the floor. We saw multiple passes from Cox, from Finlinson, from Forsey, finding the guy who was trailing down the floor. It was a perfectly executed game plan from Dixie, and I think Wednesday night was not a good thing for Region 9. Everyone kind of celebrated the fact that Dixie lost. Well, I'll tell you what, the Flyers seem more focused than we've seen them all year long.
Yeah, focus, unbelievable focus, and maybe you're right. Maybe it was a loss of focus on Wednesday night. I'm sure the Snow Canyon would say, no, it was our game plan and our defense that got it done. Whatever you want to call it, Dixie drops a game Wednesday night, and it looked like a completely different team tonight in racking up 70 points. We'll go over some scoring for you in a minute, as well as our Hearst Ace Hardware scoreboard update. We do have the Region 9 live show coming up in a few minutes as well here on KDXU. Right now, I believe we've got some highlights from CEC TV. And here they go. Take it away, Russ.
Now this is Finlinson working in the post, making the right read. He kicks it out to Forsey for a big hit. Peyton Holmes would try to get things going inside, finishing over Big Key and Webb. Holmes was really the aggressor in that second half. Here's Landeck going hard to the cup. Thunder trying to make something happen, but Dixie's offense just too consistent. Forsey finishes there. On the other end, a wild shot. Keegan Munson's there, skies high to put it back in, but Ethan Bennett waits, pulls it out, waits for the proper drive, finishes with the floater. Bennett back-to-back buckets contested, laying there.
Too many easy shots for Dixie.
A lot of easy shots. And then here towards the end of the game, we saw a lot of back-and-forth buckets. Here's where Forsey hit a big triple to end the third quarter after Keegan Munson's dunk. Back at it, Judkins, and one opportunity. Foul on Webb. Judkins would get 3 there. And Finlinson would go on to hit from the corner on the other end. And Isaac was absolutely distributing. There he gets it to Webb. Webb with the pass to the other side, finished by the Flyers, and Ethan Bennett with a bucket. On a quick, a lot of these highlights that we're seeing, AG, are ultimately Dixie just beating Desert Hills down the floor. There's no other way to put it, and utilizing those numbers. Here's an offensive rebound from Jeff Cox. Goes back up with it. He can't hit, but the tip by Bronson Barban, that'll go. Finlinson to the corner, checking into the ball game. Nick Peterson, he finished with 5 points in limited minutes, as he always tends to do. And the story of the tape right there, thanks to CEC TV for getting us that footage. They did a great job all night long. But as you can tell, Dixie just with open looks, beating guys down the floor, and really just out hustling the Flyers with a great effort all the way around. And somehow, some way, they still got to their 70 points. For a minute, I thought Dixie was going to be content to just kind of hover around that 55, 60-point mark. Nah, Dixie still got to their 70-point mark against a Desert Hills defense that was holding people specifically to about 56 points a game.
Yeah, and you know what happened is that Desert Hills started gambling a lot late in the game.
Yes, they did.
And when you gamble, you trap a guy. If he can pass out of the trap, you end up with 2-on-1 situations to the basket. We saw Dixie hit a lot of easy shots late in the contest in this 70-45 victory. Again, postgame brought to you by Dr. Cody Johnson and his staff at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. See why so many are choosing Johnson Pediatrics. Call 628-0511 and ask for the new patient special. We're going to keep our TV audience here for a little bit longer and hand out some awards. First of all, a reminder, the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert is in effect as Dixie scores 70 points. Doesn't matter if you're a Desert Hills fan or a Dixie fan, you can still go to Holbrook Asphalt and get 5 ounces of free yogurt at Yogurtland right now until they close tonight. Again, it's the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert for the 70 big ones put up on the board for the Dixie Flyers. Thanks again to Holbrook Asphalt. Now our Dad's Trucking player of the game. Let's name one for each team. And for Dixie, that's actually going to be a hard choice, not because they didn't win, but because they had so many different guys step up in different roles, Rustin. 16 for Bennett, 13 for Finlinson, a dozen for Carson Forsey, a dozen for Jeffrey Cox. How do you pick one guy out of all those? They were all pretty good.
It's really tough to do so, but I mean, I'm gonna go with a off the wall pick here, and not off the wall in terms of he doesn't deserve it, but this is often a guy who's sometimes overshadowed by Finlayson, by Bennett. But I really, really loved the performance tonight from Carson Forsey. 12 points, had the first bucket of the game, had a buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter. He was pulling from deep. He was making a difference. Carson Forsey is one of those guys who I believe deserves it. Only averages about 7 on the year. Coming off a 1-point performance in that loss against Snow Canyon, there's another difference maker. You go from 1 point to 12 point, an 11-point differential. I mean, that means a whole awful lot. So for Carson Forsey, a great rebound game, a game where he shot the ball incredibly well. His 3 total now up to 16 on the year after tonight. I love the aggressiveness. I think Carson Forsey definitely deserves it.
All right, Carson Forsey, our dad's trucking player of the game for the Dixie Flyers. On the other side for Desert Hills, we want to name a dad's trucking player for them as well, even though they lost. Let's see, Munson with 14 points, 13 for Mason Landick, 7 for Preston Vandermeide. But, you know, they were all in the first half for Vandermeide. He was pretty much shut down in the second half. 6 points for Peyton Holmes, 3 for Justin Judkins, and 2 points for Reggie Newby is all. Newby averaging 10 a game, only with 2. And, Lincoln Holmes did not play. They didn't go very deep, to be honest. Nate McMillan did not play.
Didn't get in until the very end either, which normally he's a rotation guy.
Your thoughts on a player of the game for the Thunder?
In a situation like tonight, you can't look at one person and say they played particularly well. It was a team loss in every sense, but Keegan Munson there in the fourth quarter, he got things going down on the baseline, started to move really well without the basketball. And I'm going to go with Keegan Munson because, if anything, he gave Desert Hills something to look forward to the next time these two teams match up, and that's maybe attacking and really having Munson work off the baseline, stepping away from that block and then cutting in once a Thunder guard kind of attacks and goes to the cup. That started working at the end. So we'll go with Keegan Munson for giving the Thunder a little bit of hope there at the end of the fourth quarter for maybe something that they can carry in to their matchup.
Folks, Stats always delivers. Your quality service carrier since 1988. Fuel up and grab a snack at the Ernie's 2 Sinclair station at the top of the boulevard, delivering your Dats Trucking player of the game, Munson for Desert Hills and Forsey for Dixie High School. All right, AWP Playmaker play of the game. Was there a play or two that epitomized Dixie's performance in this game, Rusty?
You know what? There was a lot of plays that epitomized Dixie's performance this game, and I was so baffled. Here's the thing. When you look at rosters, Desert Hills looks like they should be the deepest team in Region 9. When you look at Dixie, they only bring really Bronson Barbin off the bench. They bring Kean Webb off the bench. That's about as crazy as it gets. Every once in a while we'll see Peterson or Jones or something like that. But the Flyers aren't by definition deep. But when they're on the floor, they have a cohesiveness that really can't be denied. And what comes to mind for me is Finlayson attacking the basket, kind of a quick little flick pass to Kean Webb. Kean Webb with a quick wraparound pass to Ethan Bennett, who goes up and finishes. That ball touched 3 individual Flyers within a matter of 1 second, and it led to an easy bucket. I felt like Dixie was whipping the ball around like that all night long. They were making cross-court passes. Cox on one end, fires to the other. They spread the Thunder defense thin, a good Thunder defense. And I think a play like that, the Finlayson to Webb to Bennett, is a prime example.
That's our AWP Playmaker play of the game. And let's do honorable mention that Forsey 3 at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
When the Thunder had cut it to 11, and he had a big 3, made it a 16-point game. Again, thanks to Appliance Wholesalers Plus, the #1 team in the appliance business, open to the public across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. Save money at AWP. That'll do it for our TV audience. We'll let those guys go. When we come back, we'll continue our Johnson Pediatric postgame show. Actually, no, what we'll do is we'll transition to our Region 9 wrap-up show as a big game, a big night in Region 9. I can tell you one other final I got. Crimson Cliffs holds off Cedar 78-73 for that one. So Crimson 4-2, Cedar 4-2, Dixie 5-1, Desert Hills 5-1. Lots to talk about in the Region 9 wrap-up show when we come back. Thanks again to the folks at CEC and Johnson Pediatrics for our wrap-up show, and Hearst Ace Hardware for our scoreboard show. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.